divide 3x cubed minus 3x squared plus 34 by x plus 2. So let's do this by long division. I'll put the divisor x plus 2 in front of the bracket, and the dividend I'll put inside, but I have to put in a 0 for the coefficient of any missing term. So I see that I have the 3x to the third term. So I should have the x to the third, x to the second, x to the first, and a constant term. If any are missing, I'm going to put in a coefficient of 0. So I have the 3x to the third. The next term would be the 3x to the second. But then I'm looking for a term that has x to the first, and there is none. So I'm going to put in the x to the first term with a coefficient of 0. 0x to the first. And then the last term is the constant, so plus 34. So we have to remember any missing terms, we're going to put them in anyway with a coefficient of 0 because we want the powers to go 3, 2, 1, 0 all the way down. And we can't skip any. So then we go through and we do the process. It's going to be divide, multiply, subtract, bring down. So those are the 4 steps. Let's go through them. The first is leading monomials being divided. So I divide 3x to the third by x, and I get 3x squared. That's the first term in my quotient, 3x squared. Then I multiply 3x squared by x plus 2, and I get 3x to the third plus 6x squared. Then I have to subtract 3x to the third plus 6x squared. So I'm subtracting this from 3x to the third minus 3x squared plus 0x plus 34, which actually means that I need to change both of these signs and then just combine like terms with addition. So I change both of them. I'm subtracting because I have to distribute this negative, right? And then these will cancel as they should, and I get here negative 9x squared. Then I bring down the rest of this, which is plus 0x plus 34, and I move on to the next iteration of this process. So now I'm looking for the next term in the quotient. I'm doing the leading monomial divisions here. So the leading term here gets divided by the leading term here. That's negative 9x squared divided by x, which is negative 9x. That's the next term in the quotient, negative 9x. So then I multiply that negative 9x by the divisor x plus 2, and I get negative 9x squared minus 18x. But then I have to subtract that negative 9x squared minus 18x, which actually means I'm subtracting negative 9x squared, and subtracting negative 9x squared is actually adding 9x squared, and I'm subtracting negative 18x, which is actually also adding 18x. So then the subtraction yields this. These will cancel out. 0x plus 18x is 18x, and I bring down the plus 34. So bring down step check. And then I only have one more iteration of this process to go through. So let's go through this one last time. So first step is to divide. I'm dividing the leading coefficients once again, which is 18x over x, which gives me 18. So the last term in the quotient is 18. This is the quotient, the q of x. That's the quotient. Then I multiply that 18 by the x plus 2 to get 18x plus 36. So that's the multiply step. Then I'm going to do the subtract step. I'm subtracting 18x plus 36. So I'm subtracting this whole thing, which means this needs to change to negative, and so does this. And then I can just add and combine like terms, in which case these should cancel, positive 18x and negative 18x. And then 34 minus 36 is negative 2. This is my remainder. This is my remainder. So the quotient is 30 or 3x squared minus 9x plus 18. That's the quotient. And the remainder is 2.